on Dusty, I know he don't want to give it up. That's the thing about it. I should have quit 5 years before. I did. I know that now, but you couldn't tell me that then. The same thing with Flair. I see him occasionally in Charlotte. Tell him he should give up, but I understand because you just don't want to give it up.
I've been at it, John, some 44 years, and I feel the same way. I just don't want to give up.
That's exactly right. Gets in your blood. But like I say, Father Time's the one you can't beat.
Nick Fury now has come into the ring, and this Nick Fury is quite a flyer in there, John. If you notice him, he'll be bouncing off of the wall here just in a second. But he's against quite a bigger man in this young Chris Rage. That's exactly right. And yeah, you just don't want to get away from the business. But I have to take my hat off to you. You one of the few ones that's been able to do it.
Well, I keep myself busy. That's the way that I can stay away from the business. It's hard, though.
Yeah, very hard. It really is. I know I go home sometime and I say, well, after 44 years of this, I think I'm done. I'm not coming back. About 3 weeks, I'm back saying, hey, I'm ready to come back.
Yeah, that's how much you'll miss it, but you got to go ahead. You got to respect the Father Time. You're not going to beat Father Time. Nobody has that I know of, so.
That's right, but like I say, I know you've been around for a long time, and you certainly had some great matches, and you've wrestled some of the top guys in the business. And I know that the fans in the Carolinas will always remember. I mean, you're a legend. You'll go down in wrestling history throughout the Carolinas and Virginia. The fans will never forget you.
Well, a lot of them, even here tonight, a lot of them come up and said thanks for all the years of great entertainment. Well, I enjoyed giving it to them. I was very fortunate to have good partners, having a good body that I could last long enough, and wrestling some of the top men in the business. Of course, I also wrestled down here for many, many years under Jim Crockett, and I couldn't have wrestled for a better man.
Well, you know, I knew the boys, and I knew Mr. Jim, too. Mr. Jim was very instrumental in me getting started in this business, and his word was his bond, John. If he told you something, you could write it on the wall. You didn't have to have no contract.
No, his handshake, that was it. We didn't have contracts, and he was one of the most fairest men that I ever knew.
I'll have to second that because I agree with you 110%. And notice this now, a big roll up here by Fury, but no count, John.
He's against a big, strong boy in there. You're going to have to, you really have to get him more down. He's giving up a lot of weight, and you're going to have to really have him more down to be able to hold him down.
That's exactly right, but you notice he got the count of 2 now. Here he goes, one of these high-risk maneuvers. You know, when you and I got this business, you didn't have to do stuff like this.
That was disqualification to come off the top rope.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Fury is the winner. Nick Fury is the winner, and in now is DL Cool. John coming in now. This guy, he's old school, and he's an old meanie. Calls himself DL Cool. Hear those chops?
Yeah, that brings back memories of some guys like Wahoo and Jay Youngblood. But it's extra hard in a tournament like this. The man just gives it his all to defeat one man, and the pressure runs right in on you with no rest in between. So it's an Iron Man contest.
Yes, definitely it is. And you talking about chops, Dan was talking about Hiro Matsuda, but I remember a guy that Mr. Crockett brought in back in the, I guess, late 60s, and he later wrestled as Tojo Yamamoto, but his name was P.Y. Chung. Did you ever get a chance to chase P.Y. or have a match with him?
I recall having a few tag team matches. I don't know who his partner was, but he liked the Nashville area and surprisingly country music. So he didn't stay here long. He went back to Nashville.
Exactly right. And that's where he died at, in Nashville. A very good NWA wrestling promoter friend of mine in Nashville by the name of Mike Porter. Him and Tojo were very, very close friends, and he has his ashes sitting on the fireboard where he was cremated.
Well, the young fellow that won the last match had to give up a weight disadvantage in that match, and now he's got to give up being a freshman in on him. So he's really suffering right now.
That's right. This DL Cool, like I say, he's working on that arm there, and he's trying to weaken it down and sticking with that one particular part of the body.
Well, that's always been what everybody has preached for years and years. Pick out a part of the body, work on that, and keep working on it, and try to sap the strength out of it till.
Look at this, Johnny Weaver. This is one that I hadn't seen in a while. I thought he was going to get that old bustle bounce there, but I think they were too close to the ropes.
Especially from a man like Cool that would do anything to win a match. That was a pretty good maneuver.
That's exactly right. The referee telling them to break. They're real close over there to the ropes, but Fury being lifted now, big body slam. And you know, John, a lot of people don't know it, but there's only one way down, and when you come down hard on that mat, it knocks the breath right out of you.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot of give there. You got to be in shape, or it will knock the breath out of you.
Exactly right. Man needs to be going to the gym at least 3 days a week to be able to wrestle 2 nights a week.
You got to stay in condition. You got to be in condition. Your body takes an awful beating that you don't even realize.
That's exactly right. And do you want to enlighten the wrestling fans on exactly what you've been doing for the last few years that you hadn't been wrestling?
Now, I work for the Sheriff's Department in Charlotte, North Carolina, Mecklenburg County. I'm the chief. I'm the special deputy to the sheriff.
Oh, okay. Well, you know my friend Al Mandel then.
I know Al very well. Unfortunately, he was just, he had chest pains on Christmas Day. We had to rush him to the hospital, but he's fine right now.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that Al's going to be all right. But I've known Al since 1970, I guess, and he's quite a character, and he's real dedicated to his wrestling and also to the Sheriff's Department.
He certainly is. He's helped me a lot.
Well, that's good. And notice this now, a big takeover in the count of 2, and being lifted up now, Nick Fury by DL Cool. And notice there, John, the way he has that, I believe it's turned into a smother hold. He got his air cut off.
That's why the referee was calling for a break. It had to be a smother hold.
Charlie, DL Cool, I'll ask Johnny this. The way he hits and he lays in on somebody, he reminds me of the late Johnny Valentine. And you've been in the ring with people like that. The more they hit you, I mean, your recovery time, it's got to be telling on you as the match goes on.
Especially this young fellow he's in there with has already wrestled one man, so the recovery time is less and less.
Well, one thing for sure, when he mentions Johnny Valentine, if there ever was an old meanie, Valentine was an old meanie. And he wrestled some of the top guys in the country, and his win record was most impressive.
Johnny Valentine was one of the very best for a long, long time.
That's exactly right. And none other than Greg the Hammer, he's been here several times. And he's a chip off the old block if there ever been one. He's an old meanie too.
You could hear it all through the arena when they hit you. Sweet Hansen also.
That's right. I tell you what, Sweet Hansen hit you. If you didn't fall, you better look behind and see what's holding the guy up, because so we can lay some. Hey, look at that. He moves out of the way, roll up, the count of 1, the count of 2, the count of 3, and Fury has won the second match.
Nick Fury gets the win.
He's going to get another opponent. How about that, John?
His recovery time better be quick.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Brendan E. Brendan E. now to face Nick Fury. Well, you know, we're talking about country music a while ago. I'm kind of a country music man myself. They're about to kill me with this music here tonight.
All right. But I think this young man is coming into the ring now. He's making a big mistake. He's given the other fellow recovery time, which he did. Desperately needed, because he done had 2 matches.
That's right. Referee calls for the bell, and Fury says, "Come on, let's go." And here once again, this Brandon E. is the larger of the 2, John.
He's going to have to give away weight again, and of course, a smaller guy is not going to have the endurance that the larger guy's got. Let's see how he comes out in this match.
That's right.
Well, Nick Fury is a smaller guy, and I tell you what, he's taking a shellacking. And when you're running the gauntlet, I would say the longer you're in there, the worse you're going to fare, wouldn't you imagine?
That's just like you spoke of earlier. Recovery time goes down tremendously. He looked like he was really gasping for air, but the fellow he's wrestling now didn't rush in there and take advantage of that. He let him recover.
Look at this, the count of 1, and this Brandon E. keeps right out. A big right hand. To be a little guy, he throws a mean punch there, John.
Ooh, you'd hear that one all over the arena.
Over the top rope, and I know you took that spill of many a time. You'd break bones like that, John.
Yeah, because the floor definitely has no good. The ring's got a little bit, but the floor has none.
That's right. When you stomp on it, you stomp all at once, don't you? Throws him in. How about that, into the steel? And I know that's one way right there to get permanently injured, as I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, I've had my head busted open many times on a steel post.
Exactly right, because that steel has no give or no spring, no nothing. And look at this young man now. He's going up, coming off, and catches the forehead of Nick Fury as he comes over the top. And that could break your neck, John.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing anything like that. He's a big man, but he's quite agile.
He's real agile for a big man. And he's an old meanie, too. He's getting in there, just throwing that rule book right out the window. And notice he uses that fist closed and going to a reverse chin lock. And there's another way, you know, it can become a chokehold if you're not very careful.
Well, the referee's in there right on top of it, checking real good. They're getting a little leverage with the rope back there.
Tell you what, it'd be nothing short of a miracle if Nick Fury can put away Brandon East, because Nick Fury in the black and white trim is taking a pounding here.
Well, most of these young fellas, John, I've known since they started, and this kid here, back when you and I got into the business, you didn't have guys around that small. You had to be at least 200 pounds, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because Jim Crockett wouldn't talk to you if you weren't.
Right, exactly right. And I guess I'm probably the first guy that ever used smaller guys in the Carolinas. Has sold out a lot of houses and had some sensational tag team combinations. But then, you know, I said, I got to go to Bigger Bend because this is what these guys are used to seeing.
That's what the people used to see. And exactly right. And once you got that in your mind, that's all they want to see.
That's right.
Or if they see anything else, they don't think it's the same. You know?
That's right. Think it's something very taboo or something. But notice this now, going for those eyes. And John, I mean, if you can't see your opponent tell what he's doing, you don't have a very good chance to beat him. You know that?
That's for sure. Take away the eyes, you take away the whole body.
That's right.
You can't attack or fight back what you can't see, I think is the old strategy. And of course, the same way if you take a blow into the leg, you can't stand up if you can't fight. You can't fight on one leg.
That's exactly right. And look at this now. Fury's in a bad way. Look at this arrogant cover, John. He puts his foot on it, but Fury's not going to be beat like that.
That was a very reckless cover. He overestimated how much Fury could take there, and you just don't make that kind of mistakes.
That's exactly right. You notice this guy now is almost in a chin lock with him hooked on, I can't tell from the referee's position, but he's got him in a very precarious position. Now he comes right through it and starts beating him with a forearm into the back of the neck.
Well, I think he's starting to take this young fellow serious. He made a couple of bad mistakes in the match. He should have rushed right in there when the guy was tired. That was a very reckless try for a pin there, too.
Seems like Brandon East got a little too arrogant. I mean, everybody knows if you're going to pin the guy, you got to hook the leg, you got to put your weight on him to carry the weight of the pinfall.
Exactly right. And notice big right hand delivered to the top of the head, sets him up now on the top rope. This is like an old Johnny Weaver move.
All right, he's going up. Looks like he's going to suplex. But you got an awful low ceiling here.
Yep, suplex. I guarantee you that had to hurt. That had to hurt because he came all the way off of that second rope, almost from the top, and that both of them are Fury trying to get that second win. And how many times, John, have you been down like that, and the people get behind you, and you get that second win?
Yeah, adrenaline starts flowing. You hear that crowd, and you just had to dig deep and suck it up.
Exactly right. And Dan Ferris and I sit here so many weeks and watch these guys and see so many of them go out here, and they got their heart and soul into this. And some of them, of course, are better than the others. But this Fury here, I just wish he had the weight because he could really go somewhere as a name in wrestling.
Well, he's made a great showing for himself. You got to consider this is the third guy he's wrestled tonight.
Right. Exactly.
I'll tell you what, he's probably about 180 pounds, but if this guy had 30 more pounds and would slow down a little bit, he might be somebody to reckon with.
Well, you know, he's still a youngster, too. He's probably only 20 years old. He's still got some growing to do. Yeah. Thank you, John. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon E. is the winner.
Brandon East to get the win.